Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, December 7th. Ian Cameron, Dutch, and Billy Briz ready to break it down. A huge slate. Let's jump right in. It's 11 games on the docket tonight. We'll start with the Clippers and the Magic. We've got LA Clippers, 6.5, 7-point road favorites, 216 the total in this game. Clippers off a narrow win and cover against Charlotte, 119-117. What a weird basketball game that was. They were dominating in the first half. I thought my Charlotte +4 was dead the other night in that game, and Charlotte just, destroys the Clippers in the third quarter, outscores them by 15. Clippers then come back, trim the deficit, and then Kawhi Leonard a big bucket late, and the Clippers end up with a 119-117 victory over the Hornets. They'll be looking to keep it going here tonight on the road against Orlando. I got to admit, just like the other night, I'm leaning Orlando. Believe it or not, for as bad as this Magic team has been, they did cover the last game against Milwaukee. Now, some of that was Milwaukee, I think, kind of fell asleep. They had a big lead. They ended up only winning by 7. That's a tough beat if you had the Bucks full game because they were in control, and then they basically let their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. I mean, this is an Orlando team that's lost 9 straight, but it's also a Clippers team that's failed to cover in 3 straight. The Clippers team that when you're talking about laying this kind of number on the road, we just saw them life and death to escape against Charlotte the other night as road favorites. Not exactly looking to lay 6.5, 7 with the Clippers tonight, especially a night where you're still without a couple key costs. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are going to play, but, no Luke Kennard, no Marcus Morris, no Norm Powell, one of your better defenders. So I'm definitely Orlando or pass in this game, and I'll probably have a small play on the Magic. Dutch, how about you? Clippers, Magic.
Yeah, man, real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. Be sure to hit that motherfucking like button real quick, muchly appreciated. Good to see Tasha, the young lady in the building. I see you. And salute to our guy, Mr. Terry, becoming a new member of Puff Sports Radio. We appreciate that. Banana Grapes, Sweaty Butcher, all the real ones. I see you. Swiss, motherfucking cheese. Let's get to it, but not in this motherfucking basketball game. Back with this bitch, please.
All right. Yeah.
Good stuff. I'll tell you what, Orlando, there's not a lot to like. 9 games straight that they've lost. But there is something to like with that rookie out of Duke, Paolo Banchero. I mean, double-double last game, played well, 20 points, 12 rebounds. He's something. He's worth the price of admission, that guy, even if the rest of the team maybe isn't. What do you think here, Billy?
And Bobo's nice, too. Those two guys are real nice. I ain't going to lie. My bad.
Yeah, I'm with you, though. 9 straight outright losses for the Magic. 1-5 ATS their last 6 home games. 2-6 ATS their last 8 games overall. And lost by their last 5 games. They've lost by an average of 11 points. They're not covering. Not only are they not playing well, they're not covering spreads. The Clippers are getting more and more healthy. And I know this team with their recent form isn't worth -7, but in 5 games played with Kawhi and PG, they're 4-1 ATS, one of the best defensive rated teams in the league. And even though they're 2-9 ATS last 9 games, they have historically really played well in Orlando. 5-0 ATS in their last 5 meetings in Orlando. 6-2 ATS in the last 8 meetings head to head. But I'll say this again, man. If you're gonna back the Magic, instead of backing the Magic, I would just back Banchero. You give yourself an out, even if the Magic don't cover. If the Magic do cover, it's probably going to be because of Paolo Banchero. And if they don't cover, you still give yourself an out. Banchero could be the look here, 20-plus points in 13 out of his last 18 games played. More importantly, I think the way to attack this game is to over-under. Clippers league high 17-8 to the under this season. The Magic have been 8-5-1 to the under in the last 14 games. This line's aggressively moving down 3.5 points from the opener, 219.5. But I think the best bet in this game would be the under 216.
I mean, he had a double-double last game, 20 points, 12 rebounds, and his double-double's like plus 825 right now at Bet365 for Banchero in this game. Why don't you just throw a couple bucks on that even? You never know. I mean, that's pretty rich price for a guy that just had a double. Now, obviously, Clippers are a lot better defensive team, obviously, than some of these Milwaukee, but Milwaukee was kind of weird.
There would be a game Paolo would go cold. It might be against Kawhi. You never know.
That's true. That's probably part of the reason. But, he had one earlier in the season, or just to go points and rebounds, you could go in that route. But you're right, or he's been a big part of anything good out of Orlando this year. All right, Lakers and Raptors. We've got Toronto 12.5 point home favorites, 228.5 the total. Raptors opened as low as 7.5 here. And if you got them early, great job. If you haven't bet them yet, I don't know if I'd lay 12.5 now. But the big news is obviously no LeBron, no AD. tonight for the Lakers. Pat Beverly is a game time decision, means we could be looking, and probably actually he's been downgraded as well to doubtful with his right knee injury. So you got a Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown, Thomas Bryant starting 5 projected here for the Lakers tonight. Yeah, it's a backwood for me, Vic.
All right. Yeah.
I think Toronto probably wins by doubles, but I'm not going to lay 12 now. Dutch, how about you? Lakers, Raptors.
Yeah, man. Star Child, I see you, my man. Bang, bang. Jay Wills, back with this motherfucker.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. There's no need to bet this game, in my opinion. If you got Toronto early, good. I wouldn't lay it now. What do you think?
Shout out to the Lakers, though, Bobon. Shout out to the Lakers for getting us our money last night, though. Cleveland Cavaliers, early in offense. Let's get it. First half at least, I know
wasn't
that
here
first
on the
quarter
show.
they did cover for It's Daryl by the hooker, so I'm glad he got that. But other than that, it was Cavaliers after that.
Yeah, I wasn't on the show yesterday, but Cleveland minus the points was on my card. Did bet it, so good job.
I figured you like that play.
Yeah. You knew. So the spirit of Ian was not on the show yet. You can tell he was going to be on those Cavaliers at home, only laying 5.5. Yeah, and exactly, I was. Everybody knows me like a book now. What do you think here, Billy?
Hey, man, shouts to the guy, Bo Jackson, man. He said, I was actually supposed to be going to this game tonight, but once they announced LeBron and AD was out, I had to sell my tickets, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But as soon as the good things going for the Lakers, man, it seems like shit hits the fan once again, man. AD's out, LeBron's out. The Lakers are 0-7 ATS in their last 7 games following a loss by more than 10 points and are 7-19 in their last 26 meetings against the Raptors. I question the Lakers' offensive efficiency without both of these players on the court. That's the reason why I didn't say backwood for this one, because I expect the Raptors come out inspired. They lost 5 out of their last 8 games. The under is 5-1 in the Raptors' last 6 games after allowing 100 or more points in the previous game. And they're 4-1 ATS last 5 home games. This seems like another one here. This went down 2.5 points, but I like the under in this game. If you don't, this number kind of left the field, but the Lakers team total under was kind of the best bet in this one. It was at minus 115 at 110.5. That seemed a little bit too high, but it moved down 3-4 points because of the injury news. But I think the under is the way to go here. How the fuck the Lakers about to score tonight?
I don't get why they're betting the total up either. I mean, that's 228.5 now in this game. Toronto stayed under last game with a high-scoring Boston team, and that game didn't even get over this number. And the Lakers, last game against Cleveland, back-to-back, a lot of scoring out. So I agree. I think the under's got value there. All right, next up, we've got Atlanta, New York. A lot of history with these two teams, of course, going back to the playoffs. Knicks 2-point home favorites at the Garden, 232 being the total in this game. You know what? I think right now when you look at these two teams, they're both up and down. They're both mediocre messes. I mean, New York, some games they're great, like the Cleveland game. Where did that come from? They beat the Cavs 92-81, and then they lose to Dallas and Milwaukee before that. They have losses to the likes of Portland at home. I mean, they've just been all over the place. I don't know if I'm rushing to lay 2 with them. Atlanta, we know there's a little bit of a rift going on, we think, between Trae Young and his head coach, Nate McMillan, back.
We know that, though.
Yeah, we do. And I'm not crazy about taking Atlanta, but the one thing I know about Atlanta and Trae Young in particular is he wants to play well against the Knicks. He wants to play well at Madison Square Garden. They just had an interview with him and Doris Burke. They ran it on ESPN the last hour, and he's talking about he loves playing at the Garden. He wants to shut up Spike Lee. Whenever he goes there, he wants to play well. So this could be a Trae Young prop night maybe for the Atlanta Hawks. Other than that, I don't have a strong feel for the game side-wise or totals-wise. You look at the head-to-head meetings between these two teams. Atlanta, they've won and covered each of the last 2. They won in New York last year, and they won in New York earlier this season, last month, November 2nd. They went to New York and won 112-99 against the Knicks. We'll see if they can extend the success head-to-head against the Knicks in this building here in Madison Square. So I guess I'd lean Atlanta a little bit. I'd certainly take Atlanta before I lay points with New York. Might be a game more that I look towards some kind of props, though, involving Trae. Trae just seems to want to put up a good performance here each time he steps inside the world's most famous arena. We'll see if he can do so once again here. What do you think, Dutch? ESPN, Hawks and Knicks.
Man, fuck Trae Young. That's what I think, man. I don't like this motherfucker. I seen him in his little press conference yesterday too, getting all offended to the press the announcer, a little reporter and shit, trying to get tough to the reporter, man. Come on, man. You got scary when it was time for Big Nate to tell you what the fuck to do. You ran home. Didn't even want to play basketball. He asking questions because your ass didn't fucking play Friday night, bro. That's why he's asking questions, because you don't play what you're supposed to do. You get paid an awful lot of money to play basketball, and you did not do it because you were fucking pouting, all right? And you don't want to talk about it. I understand, okay, Trey? Well, fuck your ass. And I know you get off in New York, but not first half. Not first half. Ian, you touched on it. You did touch on it. They went into New York this year early, but you know what? They lost by 13, I believe, right? All right. But they were up by 8 at fucking halftime. New York has been solid at the house. And I will say, when I back the Knicks, man, oh my God, it is fucking stressed the fuck out. Better have the cushion on deck. Extra strength. But I'm doing it tonight. I'm on the Knicks first half. Shout out to my guy, Guillermo Zatucci. I see you, my man. And also my guy, Dabby Cab. And before I forget, because I'm loaded, I want to say happy birthday from here and everyone at Pub Sports Radio to our guy, Lucky Power. Supports each and every one of us. It's his birthday today. Chi-Town's finest, Lucky Power. Happy birthday, my guy. I'll forget if I don't say it now, my guy. So my bad for that. But, the Knicks 4-1 ATS last 5 meetings versus these boys in the first half. All right, so they do cover these boys. Hawks have lost 4 out of 6. Knicks are on 2 days rest as well. So shout out to our guy Ski. They got the rest advantage. Get in that ass early. Will Trey show up late? I mean, he has a tendency to in New York, so I'm not gonna bet against that. I don't believe it will. I think the Hawks are a fade right now. They are missing DeAndre Hunter and JC as well. They're already not a deep team. I look for the Hawks to lose this basketball game, but give me the motherfucking Knickerbockers first half. We're laying the hooker in the NY. It's good money.
There we go. Laying the hooker with the New York Knicks here at the Madison Square Garden tonight. That is worth noting about that first meeting. It was 65 to 57 for New York at halftime.
Yes, sir.
The first meeting. They were up by 8, and then things fell apart. And Atlanta just came on like gangbusters second half, took over that game and won convincingly. But it was a New York first half. In that game, we'll see if it's a New York first half once again tonight. Billy, what do you think?
I like what Dutch was playing out, man. I think the Knicks first half is good money, man. I'm not on it myself, but man, this is one of those games that was this close to being on my card. But it's the Hawks' recent form: 3-7 in their last 10 games, 11-24 ATS on the 35 road games. But the Knicks' home form isn't anything I really want to back either, man. 6-18-2 in their last 26 home games. And just, I feel like a lot of teams get up to play at Madison Square Garden, but with the recent injuries and the vibes going down there in Atlanta, you see other players, former players of McMillan coming out saying, fuck this guy, he's a bad coach, we on your side, Trey. It just feels like a prop game. And, everybody's going to go to the Trey Young prop market, but my favorite bet in this game is Julius Randle over 21.5 points, -118. Primetime Julius in 14 games versus the Atlanta Hawks dating back to the 2020-2021 season, playoffs included. He scored at least 20 points in all but 5 games without DeAndre Hunter and John Collins being out there. I think this should help the matchup even more. If you're looking to attack this game, you'll be real. I remember that game, that Atlanta game. We took the Julius Randle point prop. They got blown out by like 30, and he covered the prop in the first half.
There we
go. I think that's the way to go.
All right. It should be interesting at the world's most famous arena tonight on ESPN. All right, Charlotte and Brooklyn. Brooklyn 10-point home favorites, 10.5 in some spots, 222 being the total in this game. Brooklyn off a 103-92 loss to the Boston Celtics on looks like they played Sunday. So a good amount of time off here for the Brooklyn Nets, 2 days off to try to regroup here as they take on the Charlotte Hornets tonight. Charlotte hard fought in defeat the other night against the Clippers, losing by 2 as 6.5-point home dogs. Before that, they lost 105-96 against Milwaukee. And then they had a win against Washington, 117-116. The Nets now back home, though. That was actually Sunday's loss against Boston, the first home loss since November 1st. So it had been a long time since they had lost a home game. But when you still look at Brooklyn, though, they beat Toronto by 9, and they were up big that game. They fell asleep, and the Raptors actually made it quite close. And then Washington, 6-point win. Orlando, a 7-point win at home. This is a big number to be laying with Brooklyn here. They're really, and Sweaty Butcher, there you go. I was going to say, I wonder what they are as double-digit favorites. The Nets are 0-8 ATS, last 8 as a double-digit home favorite. And I was already on Charlotte with the points in this game, and it just further cements it to me. the one thing about Charlotte is, look, no LaMelo Ball, Hayward, Martin, they're all out, but the effort's been there. The last 3 games from this Hornets team, and effort might be all that's required. We've seen Brooklyn turn the intensity on and off like a water faucet, especially here on the home court. I think it's a lot of points to be asking of this Brooklyn team right now. So I'm going to take a small shot with the plus 10.5 here on Charlotte. What do you think here, Dutch? Yeah, I do. But I just know this Brooklyn team is too lackadaisical. What do you think here, Dutch, with Hornets and Nets?
Yeah, man. I knew damn well Bobano was taking that 10. I already knew this. He's not laying it with Brooklyn, and I don't blame him, but I just can't do it. I just can't go on the other side. I just can't bet, Charlotte Hornet basketball. But yeah, man, I just can't do it. It's bad for my motherfucking health. So you already know it's about that motherfucking time. Back with this bitch.
All right. Yeah.
I will say betting Charlotte Hornet basketball was good for my health and my account the other night against the LA Clippers. So hopefully tonight, that's why they rewarded me the other night. They're getting a lot of points. I don't trust this Brooklyn team worth a shit to have the focus for 48 minutes in this spot. And then you throw on the 0-8 ATS. The last 8 is a double-digit home favorite. That's the sealer, in my opinion. What do you think here, Billy?
I'll be rooting for you, Bavano. I don't blame you. By theory, it makes sense. But, man, I can't put my money on this one. Backwood, fuck this game.
All right. Yeah.
All right, we go to next game, Indiana, Minnesota. We got the Timberwolves 5-point home favorites, 237. The total, huge total in this one with the Pacers and the Timberwolves. Pacers, they're coming off a very long, they're still on the road, I should say. This is their last game of that road trip. What's the NBA doing? You have them out west, Clippers, Lakers, Kings, Jazz, Blazers, Warriors, 6 games out west. And then you have them have this one game in the Midwest here against Minnesota, and then you send them home. I mean, that's just ridiculous in my opinion. Horrible scheduling being done against this Pacers team. And they're running on fumes a little bit. I will say this. I didn't shocked that they beat Golden State on Monday night, 112-104 outright as 12.5-point underdogs. But a lot of it was Golden State was just, they weren't interested in playing basketball that night. I'm convinced of it. That was definitely a big component of that Pacers victory. Pacers played well. I don't take everything away from them, but that was like the D- game of the Golden State Warriors the other night. And it was an incredible night for Andrew Nembhard. This guy keeps looking better and better and better. He had the game-winning shot against the Lakers, of course, on that road trip. He's playing good ball for the Pacers. His props are probably worth a look right now. Minnesota, they've lost 4 of their last 5. They've not been in great form. I don't know if I know I don't feel comfortable laying 5 with them, but I know I don't love this spot for the Pacers over the total. I'd probably lean that way. You look at the series history, these two have played they played a 141-137 game last year, a 129-120 game last year as well. They've had a couple unders too, but definitely more of a series history trending over. I'd lean that way here. 4 of the last 6 have gone over with these two teams. What do you think here, Dutch, Indy, and Minnesota?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy Sweaty Butcher dropping knowledge as well. I just got some of that Mac 1 too, Sweaty. I know you a fan of that one. G Martinez, I see you, my guy. Star Child, Matt Stoney, motherfucking building. Picks from Dave, leader of the motherfucking Nerd Nation. I see you, my man. Had Pacers all day against Golden State. Yeah, man. I don't know. This game is very tough to me. I do think Minnesota should start playing better basketball eventually. I really do, but I can't bet this basketball game, man. I have to do it again. Back with this bitch.
All right. Yeah.
I've seen too much Minnesota as favorites this year in favorable spots, good situations, good matchup, trust opponents in dubious spots, and they've spit the bit. They've spit the bit too many times in these situations to trust them. I'm kind of with you. I would take Minnesota before I take Indy here, but not in love with it enough to pull the trigger. What do you think here, Billy?
I like what you were talking about the point guard, Nembhard or Halliburton, whoever starts. That could be a prop angle. But, it's just one of those spots, man. Pacers' last game, 7-game road trip. You really don't want to back them here. They're 1-4. Their last 5 games following a win. Just seems like a letdown spot. But it's hard to trust the Timberwolves, man. 1-5 ATS last 6 home games, 3-9 ATS in their last 12 games against a team with a winning record, and 1-4 in their ATS last 5 games overall. I think the way to attack this game is why would you ever lay the points with the Timberwolves? If they're going to win the game, they're going to score a lot of points. I mean, we've seen time and time again, the Timberwolves, one thing they don't have a problem doing is shooting the ball. If you like the Timberwolves, I would avoid the spread, attack the team total over 120.5 minus 118. I think that's good money.
Good stuff. All right, we move on now to Sacramento and Milwaukee. Milwaukee 6.5-point home favorites, 235.5 is the total in this one. The Milwaukee Bucks 17-6 on the 11-3 on their home floor. They have won 5 of their last 6, beating the Cavaliers, Mavs, Knicks, Charlotte, Orlando. Well, the last 2 not as impressive, but they did beat Dallas, Cleveland, a couple good teams in that mix playing solid basketball. Sacramento, they've won 3 in a row. Indiana, the Clippers, and the Bulls in their last 3 games. This has been a team that, in the road underdog role, this team's stepped up at times this year. They had the outright win as dogs against Memphis, getting a decent amount of points here. The Milwaukee Bucks, they've got the Dallas Mavericks coming up on Friday night. That's a pretty significant game with them coming to town. This could be a spot where the Kings, with what we've seen from them here of late, might be able to hang around. They're relatively healthy. Fox, Huerter, Barnes, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, the starting 5. As for the Bucks, they're about as healthy as they've been in a very long time as well. Their only significant contributors still out are Ingles and Matthews, and they've been out forever. Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Chris Middleton's back now, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. They are all accounted for in this game. But I don't know. I just got that sense that Milwaukee's not immune to throwing up a stinker every now and then. We have seen it very recently, in fact, from the Chicago team, especially that Chicago game stands out where they lost 118-113. That Laker game where they lost 133-129 as favorites. I think the Kings might hang around. I'm definitely interested in them plus the points a little bit. Lean over the total as well. Should see a pretty good amount of points here in this one. You've seen the head-to-head matchup here with these two teams just been dominant to the over. 10 straight head-to-head with going to the over with Sacramento and Milwaukee. Last year alone, we saw 160. We saw 161 or 260 and 261 between these two teams in terms of total points. So should be a lot of points. Hard to not bet the over with that series history being so dominant towards overs. What do you think here, Dutch? Bucks hosting the Kings.
Hey, man, I don't like what I was seeing in the chat until I see my guy JB Brown drop some shit. Hey, this is exactly what I was going to say, bro. I don't know how but he said it, man. I'm on the Bucks first half, and there's levels to this shit, all right? And that's exactly what I was going to say. And it's simply what it is, man. I honestly think they're too big for these boys, all right? I know I'm high on Sacramento. I like Fox. I like Sabonis. I like these boys, okay? But they're going into Milwaukee. Hey, bro, they better fear the motherfucking deer early and often. I'm telling you, there's levels to it, and they will bully them. They do not have a front line. Sabonis is all they really got. I mean, Bobby Portis, Giannis should fucking do whatever he wants. I mean, don't let Brook. I mean, Brook might even get the fuck off. I just don't see how these guys don't get every fucking rebound out there and just straight up bully them offensively, get what they want. Kiss Sacramento, maybe back the door cover here. Yes, I think we're going to see, like you touched on about Bono, Milwaukee is fully healthy, okay? And these boys have smacked around the motherfucking Sacramento Kings. 10 straight basketball games, they beat them 10 straight times in a row. I think they'll do that tonight. 3.5 is good money.
There we go. Bucks first half. You're right. He is softer than two-ply. Sometimes that Sabonis in that low post. So that is concerning when you got the freak on the other side. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, I think the way to attack this game, both teams are coming in a good form. I don't really want to play with the spread. The spread looks pretty sharp here. I think the money should come in on the total here. Head-to-head, the over is 22-5 in the last 27 meetings, and the over is 9-0 in the last 9 meetings in Milwaukee. The Kings have been 14-5-1 ATS in their last 20 games. I expect them to be competitive here, but Ben, I'm right there with you. With the Bucks only being 1-6-1 in their last 8 games following a win, seems like this team kind of lays up a couple stinkers in between. Second highest over under of the day. I would line this as the highest over under of the day. I think it goes up and over that total.
DK, real quick, DK, he right. It could be motivational spot for 10, for Sacramento losing 10 in a row. To me, I just feel like right that motherfucking 10. They lose 10, they're gonna lose 11, motherfucker. But I see you, DK. I see you.
Yeah, been a troublesome matchup. We'll see if they can get over that hump tonight. And obviously not going to be easy, but is it a flat spot? Is this the night for Milwaukee to have that, clunker? Because they've had a couple. We'll see. Next up, we've got Oklahoma City and Memphis. Memphis 8-point home favorites, 233 the total in this one. They're betting Memphis here in this game, a Memphis team that's had their share of injuries. Bane looks like he's still out. He's the main cog still missing, but looks like they'll have everybody else for the most part. I mean, Zaire Williams, game time decision, LaRavia also, but John Morant's going to play, Brooks, Jaren Jackson, Steven Adams, they're all going to be out there for the Memphis Grizzlies in this game. Lou Dort is going to be out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Left knee contusion. He won't be able to play due to that. So you do lose some defense, certainly from him. And you lose some offense too, but especially on the defensive end, you're going to feel his absence tonight. I like the over. Oklahoma City, I'm always interested in overs with this team, as you know. They've been trending that way for the better part of the last month in terms of being a heavy over team. SGA lighting it up on a nightly basis offensively, but the defense kind of a little bit shaky and leaky at the other end. I know they're betting Memphis here, 6 up to 8, but not me. I'd be taking the points before I lay the points. This Oklahoma City Thunder team has been a mad cash cow. For this OKC and over kind of combination for me has been fantastic the last month. They've been covering numbers. Their games have been going over. Oklahoma City is 5-1 ATS. Their last 6 games, were lost. They beat Minnesota outright as a dog. They beat Atlanta in their last game outright as an underdog. Won and covered against San Antonio before that. Hung tough at New Orleans against the Pelicans, 5.5-point dogs. They lost by 4. It's a competitive team right now. I'm on them, +8 against the market move. What do you think here, Dutch?
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Boogie May. I see my man, Mally Mal in the building. Good to see you. Bet that with Jay as well. You said a lot. I'm right with you, bro. I'm right with you here. And I almost want to bet it over here. You know, I'm not big on the totals here, but I'm right with you with the over as well. But OKC +8, man. It's Thunder buddy mode, man. You know, I have to do it. I just have to. I think this kind of goes back into the factor of too, where everyone sees, all the studs out for Memphis, and they get 4.5 and went outright in Miami. Now all Jaren and Morant come back. Now everyone's on board. Look at the line movement. Everyone's just expecting Memphis to run them out the motherfucking building. They were 6.5-point favorites probably about a month ago, maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago in Memphis, and beat OKC, I believe, by 11. So I think OKC knows that they can play with this team, will come in. I don't like that Dort's out, but you're going to give me 8 motherfucking points with probably, Morant's a stud, but Shea's right there with him. He's played just as good as basketball John Morant has this year. I'm not going to say he's as good as Ja, but this year he's shown that he could be on the same level as John Morant. We'll see it tonight. Give me 8. I got to go to the motherfucking window. They are 5-1. ATS last 6 on the road, I believe. Let me bring that up just to make sure my fault. 6-2 ATS last 8 road games, and 5-1 as you touched on, Bobano last 6 overall against the number 4-2 straight up in that span. So I look for OKC to be in this basketball game simply because it's the NBA, man. Everybody's gonna be on Memphis tonight. I got the motherfucking Thunder +8.
Yeah, OKC I've cashed a lot. Like I say, it's one of those nights where it's been good team to me in this point spread range as a dog. Maybe tonight, maybe it's not the night for them, but I'm willing to take a shot anyway. And if I lose, so be it. We've won a lot with this Thunder team for the last little bit. Billy, how about you? Thunder Grizzlies?
You're speaking facts, man. Thunder buddying up, man. I mean, the Thunder have just made good cash, man. Fading them against Atlanta, man. Shouts to my man Bebeto for the best bet. Took that one on the money line, my man. But the Thunder are coming to this game rolling, man. 36-15 ATS in their last 51 road games, but 8-2 ATS last 10 games versus teams above 600. So they play up to the competition, and they're 4-0 ATS last 4 games overall. They're playing good basketball right now. It's very hard to ignore. The only trend that really causes concern is the Thunder are 1-5 ATS in their last 6 meetings in Memphis, and 3-9 ATS last 12 meetings versus the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies have been playing well, man. They've won 5 of their last 6 games despite having Bane and out there and stuff. But I wouldn't want to back Memphis on the full spread here. 1-4 ATS versus teams with a losing record last 5 games. So they're playing down the competition. Thunder are playing up the competition. I would lean that Memphis gets up early here. I feel like a lot of those times down watching these Thunder games, I'm a little bit pissed off at halftime and I see them down by like 15, 20 points, and then they end up backdoor covering or win the game by the end of the game. I think Memphis gets up early here, but Thunder find a way to backdoor cover. I wanted to bet this so fucking bad, but I'm just going to stay off of it.
All right, going to stay off. Little concerned Billy, but I think we're all kind of in that same direction, Thunder or pass in this one. All right, we've got Detroit taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans 10.5, 11-point favorites at home against the Pistons, 229 the total. Detroit off a outright upset win, outright underdog win as 7.5-point dogs against Miami last night, 116-96. And look, because they won by 20, they won going away. They just took apart Miami in the second half, especially the fourth quarter. You look at the floor time, the minutes for their their starters, for Hayes, for Ivy, Stewart, Bogdanovich, Marvin Bagley. Nobody played more than 30 minutes. Everybody's relatively fresh for this being a back-to-back here. I think I might take a shot with Detroit first half. I don't know if they'll hang in there for 48 minutes. Pelicans are playing well. They are, no question. They've won 4 in a row. They've covered 3 of the 4. They beat down the Raptors, destroyed San Antonio again, just crushed Denver, 121-106 in their last game. But Detroit's been a very good road team lately. 18 of their last 25 road games. They're 18-7 ATS, their last 25 road games. You look at them in the road underdog role. At Phoenix, they lose by 6. They get a cover. At Utah, they win outright as double-digit dogs. At Denver, they win outright as double-digit dogs. They cover and defeat at Sacramento as double-digit dogs. There's been a very, very good point spread roll. Detroit on the road, getting points as an underdog. New Orleans is rolling the last few games. I do worry about the legs given out in the second half. So if you like Detroit, you at least split it up first half and full game. First half, Detroit is +6, +6.5. But I'm leaning road underdog, even with them on a back-to-back here. Kind of a flat spot, too, for the Pelicans. I mean, Pelicans playing lowly Detroit. They got Phoenix for back-to-back at home after this. Friday night, Sunday night. Back-to-back home games with the Phoenix Suns, a team they have playoff history with going back to last year. You can't tell me this is a max focus spot for the Pelicans. So I'm kind of leaning Detroit here, first half, full game split. What do you think here, Dutch? Pistons, Pelicans?
Yeah, shout out to our guy, Nasty Nate, Mr. Trifecta in the building. I see you, my man. I believe it's going to be a good night for us tonight, my guy. Tiffany T, I see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, young lady. And she says she has not bet the motherfucking Knicks all year. Well, tonight, first half is the motherfucking night, goddammit. Let's do it, T. Get on it, man. Knicks first half. Drop later, hooker. We're going to get that W, T. We will get that W first half. But, Bono, I'm right with you again, man. But, see, I just can't do it, man. I can't do it like you. I like the Pistons here first half. I really do. I broke down this game a little bit. I thought I was going to be on the Pelicans really maybe in a trifecta spot, maybe first quarter, first half here. And then after breaking it down, I'm like, damn, how are you not really kind of liking the Pistons here first half? Maybe even obviously with the 11, but I like them first half. Maybe they'll die down a little bit in the second half, being in a back-to-back situation. These boys are fucking gritty. They really are. Dwayne Casey, man, he gets the best out of these boys, So, he's been spots and been fired from spots, but he's a lot better than a lot of things going in the NBA. He gets these boys to show up and at least come play basketball, competitive basketball at least. They might not have the most talent, but yeah, man, it's hard for me to bet Detroit basketball, but I could only look that way.
All right, so lean to Detroit here for Dutch in this one. All right, Billy, how about you, Pistons, Pelicans?
Right there with you. I mean, Pistons have been playing really well on the road. 4-0 ATS last 4 games, 6-1-1 in their last 8 games versus a team with a winning record. So, I mean, they're playing up the competition. Pelicans, I mean, they've been pretty good. 8-3 ATS in their last games overall. I think this line is pretty sharp, though, by the books, man. It's like the Pelicans are going to win, but how much are they going to win by? Go bet and figure it out. But I think the move here is we're going right back to the well, man. We were talking about it yesterday. The young kid, Killian Hayes with the dimes, man. He cashed that one for us yesterday, over 5.5. It was at -115. His assist prop is at 5.5 again at -132. If you're going to take the Pistons, I think, rock with Killian's assist, man. I mean, how can you not auto bet the trend? I mean, he's just been cashing and cashing and cashing. Covered last 9 out of 11 games, 6 games straight. Killian Hayes over 5.5 assists.
All right, there we go. Killian Hayes over assists for Billy Briz with Detroit and New Orleans. All right, Washington and Chicago. The Bulls 5-point home favorites, 227 the total in this game. The Bulls 9-14 so far on the season at home here in the Windy City, 5-5 straight up and against the spread here on their home court. They're not playing great at the moment. 3 straight losses. 2 of those tough games, Phoenix, Golden State, but lose also to Sacramento 110-111. A 6-game road trip coming back home for the first game after that road trip as well. Really tricky spot here for the Bulls. Wizards, they've struggled as well. 1-6 straight up their last 7. The only win against Minnesota. They've had losses to Miami twice, Boston, Brooklyn. A 1-point loss against Charlotte as favorites. They get blown out by the Lakers at home the other night, 130-119. So it's definitely been a struggle for this Wizards team. They're not playing great either, so it's pick your poison. Bradley Beal ruled out, by the way, for the Wizards tonight. So always something to keep in mind. He has been they've struggled without him. Like, let's be honest, he's played all these games they've been losing, but still, it's not going to help them offensively, at least, not having Beal on the floor. Monte Morris takes over the point guard spot. Corey Kispert, Avicii, Kyle Kuzma, and Porzingis looks like the starting 5 for the Bulls. Still no Lonzo Ball. Alex Caruso, game time decision with the ankle issue. So we'll see if he suits up. As usual, I'm kind of leaning toward the over with these two teams with what we've seen from them defensively. And the betting markets agree, 223 to 227. I don't love the idea of backing either one right now. But I'd take Washington before Chicago. I'm not ready to lay 5 with Chicago right now. I'm just not at this point in time. So it's the smallest of leans to Washington and the over as well. What do you think here, Dutch? Wizards, Bulls?
Yeah, man. The Bulls, I don't have a good read on the Chicago Bulls. I really don't. I don't. To me, they should be a better basketball team. I don't know if Donovan don't got these boys bought in. They should be a better basketball team to me. I know they don't have a point guard, and obviously that's going to affect your team. But you got some ball players over there. Levine's a hell of a fucking basketball player. DeRozan is what he is, and I think Vooch is a solid big man. I'm not going to say he's real good, but he's solid. I think this should be a spot where they go in and put it on the Wizards, but double digits without Bradley. I mean, you touched on it, Bobano. Haven't been playing good basketball. I just don't trust the Chicago Bulls, to be quite honest with you. It is our boy Lucky Power's birthday. He do fuck with the Bulls, so maybe tonight for him they'll show the fuck out and get a good game from 4 quarters. I would only lay the points here with Chicago, but it's not something I'm in the line of doing right now. I don't trust. No trust.
All right, no, I don't. It's hard to trust
factors with Chicago.
Yeah, we got trust issues. It's who do you trust least, and I think it's Washington. That's why I'm leaning Wizards. How about you, Billy?
After a solid November, the Wizards have just been falling off of form, only winning once of their last 7 games. The Bulls are also coming to this game on a 3-game losing streak, but they're on a road trip, man. Without Bradley Beal on the floor, I lean to the Bulls back here at home. This line might burn me here, but without one of their best players, I think this is a good setup spot for the Bulls to bounce back. I think we see a motivated DeMar DeRozan tonight. He's coming off of his worst 2-point totals. It's been really bad those last 2 games, but when DeMar DeRozan has scored 17 points or less 6 times this year, in the following game, he's averaged 30.5 points. So we're on the Bulls -5 here, and we're on DeMar DeRozan's point prop tonight. Man, some people don't want to back it with me, but I think the Bulls is the spot here, man. DeMar DeRozan, go get yourself some good money, too. The Wizards give up the 6th most field goal attempts from 15 to 19 feet in the NBA, so nice little mid-range. Overall, the Wizards' defense has just been brutal of recent, giving up 120 points per game in their last 3 games. And if they're not going to play defense, I think Chicago can score, man. Chicago at home, -5.5 is good money here. This is one of the spots that are going overlooked on the card. Not a lot of action on this one, not a lot of line movement, but this is one of the spots that I'm on tonight. The 2 spread bets that I'm on today are very contrarian. This is one of them.
All right, Golden State and Utah. We've got the Jazz now 7.5-point home favorites after Golden State opened as 2-point road favorites. 233 the total, and it tells you all you need to know. There's no Steph Curry. There's no Draymond Green. There's no Andrew Wiggins tonight. For the Warriors. Klay Thompson is still playing, it looks like, but obviously Curry and Green out as well as Wiggins. So it'll be Poole. It's not delivery. It's DiVincenzo, Klay Thompson, Kuminga, and Looney being the starting 5 tonight for the Warriors. Jazz look like they're going to have pretty much a healthy team tonight, Conley included, although he is questionable with a hand and leg injury, but they've at least upgraded him to a potential to return. He's missed the last 8 games for the Jazz. Again, if you got Utah early, fine. I ain't laying 7.5, even against a skeleton Golden State crew. So back with this one, Vic.
All right.
All right, Dutch, Warriors, Jazz.
Yeah, man. This is another this a play just straight off principle. I've been haven't pulled the trigger on all these plays so far this year, but have been kind of down in. I think we've seen enough to where we kind of know what's going to happen in this basketball game. I believe the Warriors are going to be competitive in this basketball game. It's got out of line. It's got out of fucking control. And that starting five you just told me right now, honestly, don't seem that fucking bad, really. I mean, Clay can hit some open motherfucking shots, and Jordan Poole could look a little bit like motherfucking last year. It might be a competitive basketball game, but you're going to give me a touchdown and a hooker against a Utah team that I know they got some boys. And shout out to the picks from Dave. Hit me last night. Got the plus motherfucking 2 with Utah. Now that's good money. But you're going to give me 7.5 with these Warriors. They're going to play up. It's what it is, man. Not only are they missing the guy, Steph, they're missing Mr. Wiggins and Draymond. They might be happy Draymond's ass is out the fucking line. I ain't going to lie to you. They might be like, God damn, we don't got to listen to this motherfucker on the court no more. And, watch that ugly-ass jumper. So I expect the Warriors to rally around it. I don't think they win this basketball game. I think they play competitive basketball and cover the 7.5. Strictly play up when the boys are down. Warriors plus 7.5. Good money.
All right, liking the Warriors. I can't argue with it. I think it's. I think at this point you have to take Golden State and just hold your nose, cross your fingers and hope for the best. The only thing that worries me is that this dreadful train wreck of a season the Warriors have had on the road. 2-10 straight up, 2-10 against the spread. They've been horrible away from home, but you're right. It's just can't lay it with Utah right now. Not at this number. What do you think here, Billy?
Jordan Poole over on his point prop 25.5, but I didn't even bet that, man. Backwood everything in this game. This is a pass.
All right. Yeah.
Final game now of this Wednesday card. We've got the probably the game of the night, right? Boston has to be the Boston Celtics and the Phoenix Suns. The second game of the ESPN doubleheader tonight. We've got Phoenix 1-point home favorites here in the desert, 231 being the total in this game. Wow. I mean, you've got two teams that are combined 36 and 13 straight up this season. So you are talking about, a great matchup here. There was a time I thought this would be maybe your NBA Finals last year. And, of course, Phoenix got picked off. It ended up being Golden State and ended up winning it. This could be your NBA Finals this year. Don't rule it out. Boston and Phoenix. Certainly the Celtics we know have played outstanding basketball. And I give them credit, man. We talked about how kind of a brutal spot that was for them after Cleveland the night before, going to Toronto, crossing the border, and they gutted it out and they found a way. 116-110 the other night against the Raptors. They're playing really good. Phoenix, obviously. Now, Phoenix is coming off the 130-111 loss at Dallas. I guess if you were to say current form, you have to favor Boston a little bit. But Phoenix coming off the loss, it's maybe also a reason why you're getting pretty much close to even money with them here. Let's not forget they are 12-2 straight up at home this year. Been good on the home floor. It feels like from a spot perspective, situationals, maybe a little point toward Phoenix here. But at the same time, I'm not in a rush to step in front of Boston. I haven't stepped in front of Boston in a very long time. And I don't know if I'm about to start here necessarily in this game. Also, keep in mind, been very home court dominated here. Last 4 meetings, Phoenix won both games in Phoenix. Boston won both games in Boston. So it's been a home court type of series. I have a lean to the Suns in this one. Nothing strong. It's just more of a game I'm going to sit back, watch, and enjoy. We talked about also, I should point out, the Boston Celtics team totals. They have cooled off a little bit the last couple, but long term still been very good. But at the same time, you've got a Phoenix team that on the home floor here, capable of playing pretty solid defense, especially in a step-up spot like this, a marquee matchup. I think intensity will be there from both teams, but including Phoenix defensively. So for that reason, maybe pump the brakes on the Celtic team total overlook, which has been kind of a go-to over the last month or so. Dutch, what do you think here? Game of the night, Celtics Suns.
Yeah, man, I like the Celtics here. I really do. They did very impressive in that win against Toronto without Brogdon. Should have been tired, going through cuss, all that bullshit, and they still put it on them after being down 7 there in the third. Really just flipped the switch with Tatum. And, I mean, come on, man. They're the best thing going. JB and JT, man, it don't get any better than that. And I do think CP3 coming back is going to throw off the rhythm a little bit. That he hasn't played basketball in a while, man. He really hasn't. The Suns have played pretty good basketball without him. We know what it is. He's going to have the ball an awful lot. He is the captain, but I mean, come on. I believe they'll start off a little rusty here. You did touch on it. The one thing I don't like is that they got they did get smacked around against Dallas. You know, they really did from start to finish. So this could be situational spot play here for Phoenix. But I'm on the Leprechauns first quarter, first half here. I think they come out, look for CP3 and them boys to start off a little slow, getting him back in the rotation. And then, of course, Brogdon's back. I like it. I think Smart's ready to go as well. Let me get Boston. I like a full game here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix does settle in and find a way to win at the house. Boston first quarter, first half, good money.
All right, first quarter, first half. Boston early here for a Dutch tonight in this one in the desert. Billy, what do you think, Boston, Phoenix?
Yeah, I think like you were talking about, this could be a potential NBA Finals preview. The Celtics have the league best offense, but it's hard to really get in front of the Celtics team and feel comfortable fading them. But I think they might have found their match here, man, versus the Suns. Best home record in the NBA, 12-2, coming off an embarrassing loss versus Dallas. They get CP3 back. I took this one early in the day. The Suns are now favorites. I got them at -105. I love the Suns here in this spot, man. Here as not home underdogs anymore, but I think this is just a good spot here, man. Celtics could be looking ahead to that first ABC primetime game for the NBA this year is Saturday afternoon. Celtics go into Golden State. Could be a little bit of a look ahead spot. Al Horford not playing in this one, so DeAndre Ayton's props are popping out, 26.5 points and rebounds. He's hit 32 points and rebounds over the last 10, hitting 8 out of his last 10 games. So with CP3 back, that could only but help him. But, man, I'm on the Suns here, man, and very convicted.
Hey, you think these motherfuckers are thinking about the Warriors on Saturday? Come on, man.
I'm saying, like, Al Horford's not playing. Coach is resting.
Yeah, I like the play. I like it. I get what you're saying. Full game. I see where you're at, but I'm just saying they ain't worried about the fucking Saturday.
Who wants it more, though? I think for the Suns, this is a Game 7 NBA Finals game. For the Celtics, this is just another game on the road trip.
Yeah, well, there could be some truth to that. That's why you pay.
That's why I'm not on the full game.
Yeah. There you go. Both cash. Phoenix full game and Boston early. There we go. Everybody's happy. Everybody's paid at that point if that happens. Yeah, but this is the one team, Golden State, for Boston's next game that maybe, you'd never think, looking past the Suns, are you shitting me? This has been one of the best teams in the Western Conference the last couple of years. But the one team Boston could be more just looking an eye toward more than Phoenix would be Golden State. It's the one team Boston, might be just that's a
first primetime spot Saturday, NBA.
Maybe if it was tomorrow or fucking Friday. I mean, we're talking 72 hours. These motherfuckers don't even probably think they ain't thinking that far ahead. I just don't think.
Yeah,
we'll see.
That's the little elephant in the room. That Boston Golden State game on Saturday night. We'll see if Boston can forget about that. Park it.
Finals rematch. They not doing. I
agree.
And they lost to the Warriors.
I seen it in the chat. Someone in the chat said Warriors on deck. I'm like, oh shit. But then you said Saturday. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers ain't even. They think about what they might be doing Friday night. They definitely ain't thinking about Saturday yet. So we'll see. But yeah, it definitely a big game on deck. Let's get Celtics to start off early, and then you get that full game, homeboy.
Absolutely. Good stuff. That's a great game tonight. That's why, you go back and forth. There's all kinds of angles in a game like this. Two good basketball teams. So that's why it's worth checking out tonight. Great stuff with Billy, with Dutch. Everybody in the chat, let's go. Run it up. 269 live viewers. Hit that like button. We appreciate it very much. We will look right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, and karaoke at Southtown 101 and manscaped.com. Promo code PubSports. Get 20% off your purchase of anything on the site with promo code PubSports. All right, best bets to wrap it up and Dutch's freshest look. Dutch, we'll start with you. Wednesday night, freshest look.
Yeah, man. Freshest look. We're going to Milwaukee. It's good money right there. We're going to Milwaukee. First half, -3.5. It's fear the motherfucking deer. -3.5. It's good money.
All right, Milwaukee minus the 3.5 against Sacktown. First half, freshest look for Dutch. All right, Billy, best bet.
Yeah, man, we're going to go to the desert, man. I see a lot of people in the chat. Fade them. Bet what you love, man. I'm on the Suns tonight, money line. And we're going to take DeMar DeRozan over on the point prop. And we have some money on the Bulls today. Those are the 3 bets on the card today.
There you go, Bulls, DeMar DeRozan over points, and also Suns against the Celtics in the big showdown game. Best bets there for Billy Briz on this Wednesday card. My best bet, we're starting to get on a little nice run with best bets. Let's see if we can continue it tonight on the slate. And I'm going to roll with for best bet tonight. Give me that Sacramento-Milwaukee over 235. Is the best number out there right now. Hey, I'm not going to argue with that series history. It's been just overpalooza, Kings and Bucks. Bucks are going to be able to score at will around the rim. That much I do know in this game. And Sacramento, I think this is one of those nights, too, where Milwaukee's just a little lax, maybe on the defensive end, and Sacramento certainly can make them pay for it with Fox in that backcourt. So points and more points in that one for me. Kings Bucks over 235 for my best bet. That'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Up. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out, and we'll be back tomorrow. We've got Dutch in the host chair tomorrow alongside Ski Prophet and Durrell. Join them for the Thursday edition of the NBA Pub Up tomorrow, and join Connor Mack and me coming up in a few minutes. College basketball net profit right here on Pub Sports Radio. For Billy Briz, for Dutch, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow. NBA Pub Up, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the real ones holding us down in the chat. Matt Stoney, DK, Bo Jackson, Mr. Trifecta, Johnny K, Alex G, Star Child, Nunya, Mr. Cheshire Cat. Y'all be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah.